Coolidge City Council, January 12th, 2026, to order. Would you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? Thank you. Norma, would you call the roll, please?
Yes, Mayor. Councilmember Tom Bagnell.
Present.
Councilmember Audrey Saavedra.
Here.
Councilmember Steve Hudson.
Here.
Mayor John Thompson.
Here.
Councilmember Ian Gillespie. Vice Mayor Tatiana Murrieta. And Councilmember Tom Shope.
Here.
We have a quorum, Mayor.
Thank you, Norma. Okay, looks like the first item's call of the public. This is the item if anybody in the audience wants to address the council on any item, they can approach the podium and give us your name and your address, and you have up to 3 minutes.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, and all the departments heads. First of all, happy 2026 to everybody. Glad to see us all make it through. I wanted to extend an invitation for Monday, January the 19th.
Gussie,
Gussie Taylor, 529 West Verde Lane in Coolidge.
thank you very
Arizona.
much.
Yes, again, I'd like to send an invitation for anyone that can will join us at the San Carlos Park. That'll be Monday, January 19th. The march starts promptly at 10 o'clock a.m. from the San Carlos Park. Afterwards, we have a beautiful program between churches, a lot of singing and children performance and food. Everything is free. They have jumping castles for the children. It's a fun day for everybody. So everybody that get a chance, come out and join us. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you.
Mayor, we have another speaker under call to the public. It's Mr. Morris Menenga.
Well, I'm not here to give anybody a hard time, actually. We opened our first business in Coolidge actually 18 years ago, the Chevron store there, and it's gone pretty well, and we're pretty thrilled about that. But for years, I asked different city managers, why can't we sell the city fuel? And I always got the excuse that we have a contract with Synergy and stuff. Okay, that's fine, we understand that. But recently, that changed, and now we're thrilled to be selling the city fuel for police cars and everything else. And I'm just here to say thank you. You know, for a small business like ours, that's a big deal. It really is. It increases our fuel sales. I mean, that's a brutally competitive market today. So we're really, really thrilled to be doing that. Okay. And I want to hand something out. I got a couple upgrades that have coming here in Coolidge pretty soon. Actually starting tomorrow.
And you also own the car wash.
We own the car wash, and I never. That's a pretty good investment, but I never dreamed that we would wash 250, 300 cars a day in Coolidge. What we do, we've had a few days over 500. We currently are at 2,000 members in that car wash, and that's pretty awesome to have, And the really good thing about Coolidge was always enjoyed is we have growth. We see new people in our businesses every day. I ask the managers, and that just comes with growth, So anyway, the other big thing with those pictures you have there, well, actually starting tomorrow morning, will be the new painting theme on our Chevron store. Chevron Corporate has a program called Extra Mile, and only the premier, some of the best dealers are invited to belong to that. So that will no longer be a Discovery Market, but will be Extra Mile, and those signs on the front. With that Extra Mile, we're selected. We get 100% secret shoppers every month and everything like that. So we're invited to join that. So what that involves is a complete repaint of the exterior, and those are modern colors today that everything is painted. It's a complete reset on the inside, new drinks, a lot of new stuff. I mean, it's about a $250,000 remodel. Fortunately, because we were selected, Chevron puts about 150, 60,000 of that, and we do the rest of it. So that's, like I said, that's coming within the next month. We'll have another re-grand opening when all that's done, and probably have some free pizza and Mexican food and stuff like that. So we're really looking forward to that, and we're looking forward to continue upgrading in Coolidge. I felt like we've kind of led the forefront in Coolidge for years now with the businesses we brought here, and it's interesting. After we opened that car wash and landscape going, Rick Miller, who used to be here, said, "Man, I wish we could get some more businesses along the boulevard to landscape like you have." And I said, "Well, I understand, but when we're designing them in the code, and that landscaping looks good there, actually does. So anyway, in moving forward, we're looking forward to making the changes at Chevron. The car wash keeps going along. We do our annual Thanksgiving wash through there. As a matter of fact, we'll give $1,000 to Hope International here the next day for the donations we took in for their food bank and stuff. So yeah, like I said, I'm just here to say thank you for opportunity to serve the city. I've been a huge believer in supporting local business, actually. I mean, over the years of construction stuff we've built, we've used local contractors and paid a little more money to use local contractors. Same thing we did here in Coolidge when we built this beautiful facility back here and other buildings. We may pay a little more money, but we get great customer service out of those contractors. Anybody has an air conditioner going down and a plumbing problem, they don't want to wait 3 or 4 days from somebody for Phoenix for someone to come down and fix it. And those guys take care of it for us. So anyway, like I said, we're thrilled. We're thrilled to be here and be supported by the city.
Thank you, Morris.
Thank
We appreciate it. Is there anybody else? No? Okay. All right, then we'll move out and call the public. Item 3. Approval of the minutes for the City Council regular meeting of December 8th, 2025. Are there any corrections or comments regarding those minutes? If not, I need a motion to act.
Mayor Thompson, I move to approve the City Council regular meeting of December 28, 2025 minutes as presented.
Need a second. Motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, that carries. We're moving to business items for consent. Or anybody want any of these items pulled off for individual consideration?
Mayor Thompson, I'd like to pull 10 and 11, please.
10 and 11. Anybody else? Okay, here we go. Item 4. Consider approval of a request for street closure along Almond Avenue between 46th and 48th Street in the Martin Valley subdivision, submitted by Ms. Geneva Cack to host a graduation party event Saturday, May 23rd, 2026, between 3 p.m. and 10 p.m. Item 5, consider approval of a liquor license application number 355884, submitted by Depka Vermont, agent for 7-Eleven, for a business located at 780 North Arizona Boulevard, Coolidge, Arizona, 85128. Item 6, consider award of bid to Desert Recreation, Inc. in the amount of $40,878.61 to purchase picnic tables for the Coolidge Parks and Recreation Department, and approval to enter into an agreement for the purchase of picnic tables between the City of Coolidge and Desert Recreation, Inc. for the purpose of purchasing 40 picnic tables, authorizing the mayor to sign the necessary documents. Item 7, consider award of bid to Desert Recreation, Inc. in the amount of $140,733.08 to purchase swings and basketball court resurfacing for the Coolidge Parks and Recreation Department, and approval to enter into an agreement for purchase of swings and basketball court resurfacing between the City of Coolidge and Desert Recreation, Inc., park improvements at various city parks, authorizing the mayor to sign the necessary documents. Item 8, consider approval of entering into an interagency service agreement between the Arizona Supreme Court Administrative Office of the Courts and the City of Coolidge Municipal Court for the purpose of acquiring and providing software licensure for the Coolidge Municipal Court, authorizing the city manager to execute the agreement. Item 9, consider acceptance of the local border support grant funds through the state of Arizona that can be used for the purchase of 42 Axon in-vehicle cameras from Axon Enterprises, Inc., a sole vendor, in the amount of $646,529.02, authorizing the city manager and the chief of police to execute the necessary documents. Item 12, consider approval of utilizing $26,000 from the capital improvement project funds budgeted for the remodel of the San Carlos bathrooms to cover the cost associated with remodeling the city courthouse, authorizing the finance director and the city manager to make the appropriate adjustments within the fiscal year 2025-2026 budget. Item 13, resolution number 26-01, a resolution of the mayor and the city council of the city of Coolidge, Arizona, adopting the land use assumption and infrastructure improvements plan dated December 23rd, 2025. Item 14, consider approval of the claims for the month of November 2025. If there's nothing on this, I need a motion to act.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
move to approve the consent agenda with the exception of items 10 and 11.
Is there a second?
Second?
Okay, there's a motion and a second, Norma.
Councilmember Gillespie? Yes. Councilmember Shope?
Yes.
Councilmember Bagnell?
Yes.
Councilmember Saavedra?
Yes.
Councilmember Hudson?
Yes.
And Mayor Thompson.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item 10, consider approval of entering into a cooperative purchasing agreement between Ellison Mills Construction, LLC, and the City of Coolidge for Encore maintenance and repair services to refurbish 15 manholes for an amount not to exceed $120,324.38, authorizing the mayor to sign the necessary documents. Mr. Navarro?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I'd be happy to answer any questions you have on this item.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Navarro. Just, again, yeah, I know that this is something that's been ongoing, and are we looking like doing 15 a year as far as these manhole rehabs? Because I know in reading the narrative on here, it said that, we've got a lot that are in pretty bad shape, but I'm sure these are probably the worst ones for right now, and you're just trying to get those knocked out. And so can you just give us an idea of how that's going, and are we able to do more within a budget year, or is this just an average of about 15 a year that we can get done?
So this is all we can afford for this budget year. We're actually using a carryover to do this. We have about 35 that are in poor condition that we've identified. So we can do these. Our CIP budget, we're running about $1.5 million as far our total budget. And so our operating budget is about 1.2, somewhere in there. So our CIP budget for these projects is pretty small. It's an enterprise fund, so we only work with what we're taking in. And so we have other requirements that we have to do. We pump a chemical into the system to keep the smell down. This year, it's looking like that's going to be about $170,000. So things that we can do are pretty limited to what we can do. We're trying to get as many manholes as we can, but if we have a pump go out, a 20-horse pump that's in most of the lift stations is about $27,000. So I always make a joke, everything in wastewater costs $20,000. And it's about right. Everything costs about 20 grand. So our CIP projects are pretty limited. This is one that we're really trying to do. We have, I think, 240 now, so this will knock it down. How many we got going on? We still are having the rate study that we're doing for sewer and trash, and this is one of the projects that's in the rate study, so we can be able to do that. I actually spoke with Tischler Bice. They're getting things going, so hopefully in the next month or two, we can bring you the rate study and what we're looking at, so we can get projects like these, because there are multiple projects. I can talk wastewater for days. I can talk wastewater for days. But there are multiple projects, and there's big costs that are coming that we need to start doing something about.
Okay, yeah, because I mean, and I just want to, compliment you and the wastewater folks because, I mean, I don't, I think this just didn't happen overnight. I think a lot of these were over a period of time, they just kind of were neglected and they just didn't do anything about them, but it looks like you've got it on a schedule now and
Yes.
you're trying to rehab these worst ones and keep moving forward and then start the process over again because
Yeah,
we're
so
only
we're
going to
we're
get more.
scheduling them as best we can, trying to get as many as we can. Our collection system is coming up on 100 years old.
Right.
So, yeah, there's some really damaged ones, and some are in great shape, and so there's an array across the board. So we've scanned all our manholes that we have, and we have a list in which ones are in the worst condition, and trying to knock out the worst ones first, so we don't have an incident. Because the last thing we want is somebody to drive over one of these things and have them collapse.
Right. And what is the hydrogen sulfide? Where does, can you just tell me a little bit about where that comes from and how that's created that causes the deterioration?
So the hydrogen sulfide, it's just organic material that's in the pipes. So anything that you flush that comes out of the human body, anything that goes down, whether it's coffee grounds, people use their compactors in there and they kick all this stuff down. It's any of that organic material in there. It builds up the gas and it turns to hydrogen sulfide inside the pipes. Essentially, it's acid rain is what's in there. And so that's what will eat the steel rings, the steel lids. It eats concrete like nobody's business. The brick manholes that we have, the brick actually isn't touched by the hydrogen sulfide, but the mortar in it, it eats away the mortar. And so,
Okay.
yeah, so it eats concrete, it eats steel. That's why when we have these manholes done now, we have them lined. And so we have a liner that goes in there that's sprayed on, and it's to stop the erosion of the hydrogen sulfide. But that's also why we pump this chemical into the system that we're paying for at several different locations, is to knock down the hydrogen sulfide to keep the numbers down so it's not eating the system.
Okay. All right. And thank you. And I just like to be, get a little bit better idea of what's going on and what you guys are doing and everything. And I think it's good to educate us as council members so we know what's going on when you're doing these things. So again, you guys do a fantastic job, so thank you for that. Appreciate it. And if nobody else has any questions, I'll make a
Yeah,
motion.
Ben, you said you spend $170,000 a year on chemicals to pump in?
Yes, sir.
And what are is those the chemicals you were talking about to keep the things from deteriorating more?
Yes.
Okay.
So yeah, that's what we're pumping it in at our Val Vista lift station, our Heartland lift station, and our Carter Ranch lift station right now. And so it's a drip that goes in there. We have big tanks that are over there, and this goes into the system and it feeds through. And so it's the smell is what you're smelling is the
Right.
hydrogen sulfide, and so it kills the smell and it knocks down the hydrogen sulfide.
Is there anything that we could do to help eliminate the cost of putting them chemicals down?
So basically, we need to clean the system, and that's something that we're looking to do. And so if we can remove the organic material from the system, then we don't have the hydrogen sulfide. That was one of the reasons why the camel truck that we got the grant from Gila River was so important for. That's what we used to clean the lines. We have 4 guys over there, including Zach, who's sitting back there, who's the superintendent. And we could have those guys running that truck all day, every day, and it would take them about 5 years to clean the system. And we don't have the manpower to do that. They clean 2 times a week when we have a truck up and running, and then the rest of the time they're out at lift stations, they're at the headworks. There's a lot involved with the wastewater system and any kind of repairs or anything that goes on. So they're pretty busy. We've looked into getting some grants to camera the lines, clean the lines. The last I looked, I think we were looking at almost $500,000 to have a company come in and clean lines for us, and that's what we're looking at. So
Yeah,
it's
I was
a
just
big
wondering if we could-
process.
We could spend some money to save some money, but it doesn't look like you're gonna be able to do that because you had to spend a lot of money to be able to save a little money.
Yeah, and so I mean, they've gone through, and Zach and his guys are real good about it. They've gone through some of the main lines that are coming through. So we have main trunk lines, and they've hit those first, and that's really knocked down our numbers of how much chemical that we use. And so he's really decreased it from where we started. He's probably knocked it down by 40% just with the line cleaning that they're doing. So I got to say, him and his guys are really good. We had our rate go down, and that's what clears everything that comes in before it goes into the system. And we had a bit of an argument with the vendor, and Zach was on the vendor and on the company and ended up talking to the company president and got $11,000 knocked off the bill. And that's just one thing. We try to cut every corner that we can and save where we can, and these guys are great about it. I mean, we cleaned some of our lagoons out, and we did it in-house, and that saved about $1.3 million. So, I mean, these guys, it's a lot of money, but we do everything we can to save as much as we can without neglecting anything.
Yeah, and they do a great job and everything. I was just looking to see if we could spend, if we could spend like $300,000 over the years, at $170,000 a year, 5,
It
6, 7
adds
years
up,
down
yeah.
the road. I mean, if we could spend some money to save some money, that's the way I was looking at it.
Yeah.
But this eliminates the odor that the citizens call in all the time about.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I got to say, very, very minimal calls that we get.
there is.
I think we've gotten maybe all last year, we probably got maybe half a dozen odor complaints. And most of the time when we get an odor complaint, it's usually a dairy or something else. It's not the sewer. So these guys are real good about handling that kind of stuff immediately.
Thanks, man.
Thank you, sir. That's very good. I mean, it's going to get a lot worse before it gets a lot better when it comes to that system
It absolutely
financially.
is. Yes.
We know that. Okay. I'm not going to get into that right now. It's not on the agenda. I think you were going to make a motion, were you?
Okay, I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve item 10 of the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
Okay, motion to second. Norma? Oh, no, that's not one. Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That one carries. Item 11, consider approval of entering into a cooperative purchasing agreement between the City of Coolidge and Yellow Jacket Drilling Services LLC to install a monitoring well to complete ADEQ requirements for the monitoring of the wastewater treatment plant for an amount not to exceed $70,000 for the Public Works Liquid Waste Division, authorizing the mayor to sign the necessary documents. Ben?
How can I help you?
Okay, and again, I'm just trying to educate myself a little bit more, so if you can just tell us, what the monitoring well, exactly what the requirements are, why we're doing that, and what it tells us and everything.
Okay, so we have to have a monitoring well out at the wastewater plant, and it's a well that we punch into the ground, and we have to take water samples on a regular basis to see if any of that wastewater is leaching into the aqueduct, is what we have to do. So we have to verify that we don't have any leaks, that we're pulling clean samples, and this is a requirement by ADEQ. And so we have to do this. We send these reports in monthly. These reports have to go in, and we constantly keep an eye on it. We keep an eye on everything that comes in. We keep an eye on the aqueduct that's around the plant, and we keep an eye on everything that goes out the back, which is the effluent. So we have to take samples of everything and keep monitoring it. Our current well has been dry for about 8 years, and it was only drilled to a depth of around 85 feet. And so we have to drill a new well so we actually have wet water to take a sample from.
Okay, so you just choose a place where you drill it, or do they tell you
And I
where?
wish it was
or-
that easy. No, we don't get to choose a place, so we have to stay within 50 feet of our original well site to drill this new well, so we can use the hydrology and not have to go out and re-engineer a whole new well. So we can use the existing hydrology as long as we keep the well within 50 feet of the current location.
Okay, all right.
This is something that we had to do. We looked to get additional capacity at our plant, and we went through about a 1.5-year study and tried to get an engineering solution without building out the plant. And when we went through it, this was one of the things that was flagged with the ADEQ permit review, was this monitoring well. We weren't able to expand our plant with the engineering plans, but they were able to get a monitoring well out of us.
Okay.
So here we are.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted to get a little bit better idea of what the well was for and everything, so thank you, appreciate that. And again, I think you guys, they just do a fantastic job out there with wastewater, and I just think it's kind of interesting too, so, but,
No, there's-
thank you guys.
There's a lot coming with wastewater. I'll be bringing, me and Zach have put together a presentation for some of the stuff that's going on. There are some big upcoming things that are coming with wastewater. I invite everybody out who has a couple hours to come see the plant and everything. Like I said, there's a lot going on. I'll bring you some slides, we'll do a presentation, and we'll go over it, but there's a lot that's upcoming with the wastewater plant.
Thanks.
Okay. If there's no questions, then I'm going to need a motion to act on 11.
Okay, I go ahead and make a motion to approve consent item 11 as presented.
Motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. There are no items under business, regular items, report from the mayor or council. Start down here this time with Councilmember Bagnell.
Okay, just want to say attended the light parade, and the rec, public works, PD, fire, everybody did a fantastic job. It went off just flawlessly, and, you know, a lot of times you go to those things and you get these big wide gaps in between the different floats, and everything just seemed to run smooth this year, and I think there was only one time when they did that, and somebody was trying to get some lights to work. But other than that, everybody did a terrific job, and then the next day, drive down Central Avenue, and you don't have, trash all over the place or anything. So, it was just a real nice evening, and the parade was great. Then on January 2nd and 3rd, they held the Coolidge Lions wrestling tournament up at the high school. And this year they had, I believe it was 20 20 teams on the young men and 18 teams on the young women at the wrestling. And I guess, that brings a lot of folks into town. And I saw a lot of school buses here and everything else. And that means people are out buying gasoline, buying food and everything else. So it's good for our community. And this is, I think we're coming up on, next year will be 30 years that this tournament's been going on. So they've been a good draw for the community. The fly-in on the 3rd, we had I believe we served 250 plus out there. I know the mayor was out there and Mr. Lopez, and we had a great turnout. It was kind of iffy going into the weekend because of the weather, but it all cleared out. We had a beautiful day out there, and a lot of people, so it was real nice. And also wanted again to thank Joyce Baker and congratulate her on her retirement from as our library director, and attended her retirement program last Friday. So thank you to Joyce Baker again. That's all I have. Thank you.
I have nothing.
I have nothing to add.
Nothing.
Gilbert?
Just quickly, a lot of the items covered is very nice. Also want to thank Joyce Baker for all her service to the city, and she did a great job. And just to let you know, the legislative session began today, and so there's over 200 bills already introduced before it even started. And so there's quite a few. I think they did the State of the State today, and the governor is going to release her budget by Friday at 2 p.m., so we'll know what the priorities are under the governor. And we'll just keep on top of it and go lobby for things we need for the city. So that's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you, Gilbert. Well, I'm not going to go into all the meetings that I've been into like I do sometimes. I will say that both myself and the city manager have been in constant discussions with Arizona Water regarding the state of affairs for Coolidge with the water situation and the change in the laws. And Arizona Water is leading the way, I guess, in a lot of situations with the smaller water companies. And it'll be very interesting to see how things actually work their way through the system on these new contracts. And so that's one of the things we've been spending a lot of time on. And it was appropriate that Ben was talking about our wastewater treatment plant because it's going to be a very big issue with this council in the very near future. I happen to have my office over there with those guys, so I am aware of what our situation is with the water, so it's going to get very interesting very quick for us. I did, though, have a meeting with one of the governor's directors of Youth, Faith, and Family, and we did find, I see Mary sitting, I think, sitting back there, maybe not, but, and they have some funding for different things over there that we might have to tap into. That might be a source for us to tap into for some of our issues here, especially with parks and courts and things of that nature. So, well, I'll get with you guys and or I can tell Gilbert and he can tell you how to get a hold of her. He was in the meeting with me. So, anyway, that's all I got. So I need a motion to get out of here.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Nobody. We're adjourned. Thank you for coming. Oh.